Hello everybody, welcome back. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you my updated 2025 planner lineup. A lot of things have changed and I just want to show you exactly how I was planning on using things and then how I actually am. So let's just hop right in. This is going to be quite a chatty video. I haven't really prepared anything specific to say, so maybe grab yourself a little snack or a drink and come on back. So I'm trying to remember exactly where I left off with you guys, where you remember me being with my lineup. I feel like it's kind of like an episode recap previously on. Anyway, I think we're gonna start here, and that is with my 2 pocket bullet journals. Initially, I was gonna use the Leuchtturm as my pocket bullet journal, but I realized that the GSM of the paper just wasn't high enough for what I wanted to do. You can see that there was ghosting, bleed through, and whatnot. So after everything, I went back to the Dingbats A6, and I've been quite happy in this. Pretty much this planner is just a glorified desk calendar, to be honest. I set up my monthly, I make it really quite pretty, and then I just prop it up on my desk. And I find that this is a really good outlet for me to have all the benefits of using a A5 bullet journal, but not the pressure of having to fill it up so much. So I can do minimal decorations or I can go crazy with decorations, and it still only amounts to like half of what I would be doing. So this is my desk calendar, and it just sits on my desk, and yeah, I don't know what else to say. And then my Leuchtturm is my like everything brain dump planner. If you saw my video on the experiment, then I'm just continuing that into here. I found that to be so helpful that I couldn't really stop once I started. So it's just been kind of more of the same. I'm already almost halfway through this little notebook here, but the entries are very reminiscent of what you would have seen in that video. So I just have a little bit of my daily to-do, and then I go into some extra notes, and then I filter through these at the end of the day. I'm just coming in super quickly here because I've received several comments asking about how I filter information at the end of the day and where everything goes. So I want to let you know that there will be a separate pocket notebook update video coming soon. You can see this little doodle is from Helen at the Coffee Monsters Co. She did a video on doodles, and I've been really loving this one. So yeah, I've mostly just been using this in the same way, but I've been using it in combination with another planner, and we'll get to that, I promise. Okay, so here is where things get a little bit crazy, so I apologize. I'm gonna try and not make this really confusing, but initially we had this as my health planner, this as my everything else planner. It was going to be my daily combined with my business, combined with my social media, and eventually I decided, okay, I want to keep them separate. I don't want to have my planning with like my reflecting. So then I just swapped the two. I was like, this is going to be my business planner, and then this is going to be my health, wellness, daily journaling planner and whatnot. And then this happened. If you saw my Kokuyo unboxing, then you would know that I was very kindly gifted a Jibun Techo, and that kind of threw a wrench in my planner lineup, but in the very best way. And so I have this kind of 2-book system, and I'm going to explain everything. So let's just start from the beginning here. If you're wondering about the planner cover, this is the A5 systemic cover from Kokuyo. I purchased this myself on Amazon after I got the Jibun Techo because I realized I wanted to have a tri-fold system, and this was the only planner cover on the market that could do that. So you'll realize that in this first pocket here, I have my morning routine, and then on the back I have the menu, and you would have seen this menu in my bullet journal setup. I just copied it and put it in here just so I have another kind of point of reference. So that just slides in and out here, and I will reference that from time to time, not every single day. Okay, now we can open this up. In the front portion, initially I was doing this as a tracker that correlated with my menu items, and I would get points at the end of the day. As you can imagine, that was just a lot to keep up with, and so I decided to not do that anymore. But it was kind of fun. Like, I'm not saying I would never get back into that, The monthlies, I've been having kind of a hard time figuring out what to do with these monthlies just because I really only need like 2 monthlies max. So I was at one point doing a kind of upload tracker as well as my subscriber count, and that was working decently well. So I might continue that on. I'm not sure yet, but yeah. Primarily what has been the best part of this planner, which you're going to be shocked by and so am I, is the weekly. I have completely transformed my weekly from horizontal to vertical. I'm loving it. I didn't know that that was ever going to be in the cards for me, but there is just something so incredible about being able to schedule and plan at the same time. And I love having the option of time blocking specific events if I want to. So you'll see here that I have a couple appointments marked out, and then I just kind of write the tasks. What I'll do is I use this left portion as a rolling weekly. On the top, I put any kind of social media or uploading schedule, and then the night before, so let's say I'm planning Monday, on Sunday night, I will go in and write down some tasks and to-dos that I can think of just from that night before. And then I go in with my little pocket planner here, and then during the day, I will go back in and then write a more full to-do list, kind of putting in any extra notes or to-dos, and I like to write them in the order of which I want to get them done. Again, I did see Helen from the Coffee Monsters Co. do something like this too, where in her hobonichi cousin, she has like a kind of rough list of things she wants to get done, just like anything off the top of her head, and then she will transpose those into another planner where she will write them in order. So that's kind of what I've been doing as well. So then Monday morning, I like review this list, and then I just go back in and write them in the order I want to get them done. And if there are any extra like tasks, to-dos, appointments, then I will include those as well. And then, I mean, that way I get to check them off in 2 places. So I really see it as a win-win. But I've been absolutely loving this. And the weeks when they fill up, because it's so purely functional, they just look like chef's kiss. I love how they look, which is a big part of things. No, I'm joking. Okay, moving on. If you saw my other video on the Iroful notebook, this is where I keep it. This is kind of just my overflow notebook planner. For example, I've been using it as my like content planner. You'll recognize this from the other video I did on my fountain pens for beginners. This is where I just put my rough draft. I made a list of the fountain pens I wanted to feature, their prices, and I went into detail here. I'm someone who just does not really like virtual scripts and typing, so if I can avoid that, I will, and so this is where that has been. And I also just include any extra ideas. I watched a really cool video on personal branding, and so I also just made a note on that. So in that way, it's a little bit commonplacey, but not really. I don't know how to explain it other than everything in here is related to business, branding, or content. And let me take a breath here. Like I said, a big reason why I purchased this planner cover was for the tri-fold ability. And so let me just show you what I mean by that. Is that this portion folds out. So as I'm planning, let's say I'm planning in my Co-Creo planner, I have it open like this. I'm able to then reference my quarterly goals at a glance, so I know that all my tasks and to-dos I want to fill up that day can and should relate to the goals that I want to achieve. So that is where I would schedule in reading, or I could schedule in writing or brainstorming, and that way I have a focus on doing things, actionable things that can reach my goals. So I just love that ability to have it right there. On the other side, you'll see that I made a little reference book here, and this just has resources for me because having so many goals you want to achieve can be overwhelming. So if I'm a little bit lost, for example, with learning Swedish, I've just made a list of resources that I can reference to make it a little more bite-sized. Like, where do I start? Well, I can start with the Coffee Break Swedish podcast, or I can start with the book that I have, Short Stories in Swedish. So that's primarily what this is for. Anything else that I have in here are just like little scraps of paper that I want to keep. Some of them are related to like taxes, all the boring stuff. And then this I just keep flipped down in there. Then it stays quite relatively small in profile. Okay, we are getting there. This is my PaperTess B6, and it has just become my like diary health planner still. So a lot of the pressure has been taken off about what I'm using this for. So I'm just gonna explain exactly how I've been using it. So here I have my little page that I can decorate. I didn't for January, but I just thought it'd be fun to do one for Feb. I have a few goals for myself. I only have 3 there because I want to keep them realistic. For the monthly, I've been using it as a daily highlight. So the best thing that happened that day, I completely filled mine out for January, and I think it just looked so beautiful, and I love just being able to reflect on positive things, so that was really fun. And then the first 2 pages you get before the week, I'm not going to show, but one side I'm using as a finance tracker, so just tracking money that's coming in, money that's going out, and obviously trying to make the money that's coming in much higher than the money going out. And then I just have one blank page that I'm not really using. For the week, this is where I've integrated a tracker once again. I did try to do a meal planner here. There just wasn't enough room, so I'm kind of just holding that in my head mentally. And then the daily, I just do gratitude. Sometimes I'll incorporate an affirmation. I do the wins of that day, and then I write a brief reflection, and that's just like a dear diary type of thing. Again, I'm not going to show you too many pages because, as you can imagine, this planner gets quite personal, but this reflection was very mundane, so I don't mind sharing that. The blank pages at the back, again, I was going to use them as kind of a meal planner, but this thing is really chunky. It's really, really thick, and flipping back and forth was simply too much work. My wrist is not equipped for all that weight. So, but I feel like I'm using most of this planner, and that's really all I can ask of myself. You know, if you guys remembered, the paper bleeding and all that was a really big thing for me, and it's not anymore. I don't care because I have, I guess, so many other planners where I can use fountain pen. Like that Iroful notebook is just perfect for using fountain pens, so I'm not fussed about it anymore. Look how mature I am. Okay, and finally we have the Kinbor, which gives just the best sound. And this one's my purse planner, and so primarily I just keep a duplicate of my monthly with the dates, and that's just so if I'm out and let's say I want to schedule an appointment, I just know where I already have appointments, and it's quite simple like that. It's very thin. It has a very thin profile, just like a Hobonichi Weeks, so it does not take up too much space. And yeah, and then I have some extra pages in the back just in case. All right, everybody, that is my updated planner lineup. As you can see, I have not quite reached the minimalist stage in planning, but I have to say I'm very happy with my planner lineup, and I am really trying to not planner hop this year. And I feel very confident in the way that it is right now. I just think there's enough variation where if I do get bored, there's another planner that I can focus that into. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, please consider subscribing and giving it a huge thumbs up. It really helps this channel grow. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time, guys. Stay cozy, and bye-bye.